What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with the Outpost, and ever since the highly disappointing theatrical release of Justice League, there have been rumors swirling out there about Zack Snyder's cut of the movie. Zack Snyder's Justice League, resulting in the Release the Snyder Cut fan base, a passionate group of fans who really want to see Zack Snyder's true vision played out on the screen. Especially with the idea that maybe this is something that could go on HBO Max as HBO Max comes closer and closer to being unveiled. Over the past several months, these rumors have really heated up. In the past 2 days, we may have gotten more than we ever could have dreamed of in a couple reports here. So let's get into it. First one I wanted to talk about was this tweet from Humberto Gonzalez over there at Heroic Hollywood. Not necessarily the biggest proponent of releasing the Snyder Cut, someone who said they thought it would never happen, just like a lot of other people have said. Zack Snyder's Justice League cut may get released after all. And in this, he talks about in a little bit of detail a meeting that went down where Zack Snyder screened his cut of Justice League to Warner Brothers and AT&T executives. And we had some people asking if anybody could confirm this. Is there anyone else who could help corroborate this? Well, let's see. Jay right here says, I wonder if anyone else can weigh in on to confirm or deny that a screening of Justice League happened with Zack Snyder and AT&T Warner Media. Sean O'Connell comes with the bomb. I can confirm this. So it's not just one person saying that, it is multiple people saying that in February of this year, the screening happened. And when you think about it and you connect some of the other dots that we have had going on over the past couple days, it really gets the noggin jogging and think that maybe this is finally the time where we are going to see this. Now, you see the comments full of a lot of different people. Some are very passionate, some are detractors about this entire thing. The Release the Snyder Cut movement is full of very passionate fans, and I feel like on YouTube you have some people that, depending on which way they feel they can go to get clicks at the time, they aren't necessarily telling you exactly how they feel. They may support releasing the Snyder Cut a couple months before, and then when they're not getting the traction from that, they may go anti-release the Snyder Cut, anti-Zack Snyder to attract the hate clicks. I feel like that happens a lot on YouTube. What I'm really looking for is consistency with people. If you say that you like Zack Snyder and Zack Snyder's vision, then I hope you maintain that. You're free to change your mind, of course, but the people that seemingly flip-flop to try to go wherever the wind takes them, those are the people that concern me. If you don't like Zack Snyder's vision, I totally get that. I know a lot of people who don't. I happen to love what Zack Snyder did in Man of Steel, and I loved the ultimate cut of Batman vs. Superman. I really wanted to see his version of Justice League, but he was railroaded, for obvious reasons. But I wanted to go into what Sean O'Connell then says about this. Zack Snyder reportedly screened his Snyder Cut of Justice League. What does that mean? So let's read into this. When Zack Snyder first tackled the massive DC team-up Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, he accurately described the production process as a marathon within a marathon. The same phrase can be applied to get to the journey to the Snyder Cut of Justice League. Every step of progress feels like a mile achieved, and today the movement learned of a potential massive step towards seeing that coveted movie sooner rather than later. And I agree, it has been a process. 2017, oh, the Snyder Cut doesn't exist. 2018, well, it exists, but I mean, it's not done. 2019, well, it might be done, but you'll never see it. Well, it's 2020 now. Let's see what happens. Zack Snyder has a cut of Justice League that differs from the theatrical cut that Warner Brothers released in 2017. There have been rumors that Snyder screened his cut as recently as February 2020 for executives who wanted to see the current state of Snyder's Justice League. Now, Heroic Hollywood confirms that this screening took place, and that was in Humberto Gonzalez's video. It says, it seems like a recent screening of the film could lead to a wider release. Heroic Hollywood has exclusively learned and confirmed that Zack Snyder held a private screening of his cut of Justice League in the first quarter of 2020, with executives from DC in attendance. According to an individual with knowledge of the situation, something is happening with Snyder's cut of the film and discussions are currently underway. We can take this one step further and report that according to our sources, it took place on Thursday, February 6th. No details emerged about what came of the screening, but reports confirmed that it did happen. Now, this could mean a lot of things, and you have to look at a couple other things that took place in order to really start connecting these puzzle pieces. The pieces that lead to the conclusion were on the table. On February 29th, weeks after the reported screening, Snyder gave this film slate, and you can see it right here, and we talked about that on this channel, gave his film slate as a prize to his Justice League poster competition. The slate promised to the winner, artist Victor Koo, to be on set for any additional photography that Snyder might need to complete Justice League. He promises that after screening his cut to executives, aren't we safe to conclude they agreed on footage being needed and Snyder planned on completing it? That again is an assumption. That's a leap to make, right? You're making an assumption that, well, if they had said there's no way that we're ever going to do anything with this, why would Snyder then go and keep promoting it this way? Why would he then give that slate to someone and talk about a couple scenes, specifically scenes he's talked about before that he would need to finish his movie? However, and this is the big wrench, everything has been put on hold by the current quarantine, specifically in LA. Maybe Zack Snyder's Justice League was prepping for that HBO Max launch until production delays prevented it. That is where uncertainty creeps in, because we know that the movie screened and we know that Snyder promised additional photography, but no one could have predicted the global situation. And of course, we've heard Kevin Smith's thoughts on this before. The ball now bounces back to Snyder's court, though we don't expect him to be able to confirm or deny anything. He has been very tight-lipped. He's been dropping all of these hints, but at the same time, he has not ever specifically told us anything that he has in place with Warner Brothers. He's been very careful about that. Any gag orders or NDAs that may be in place, he's been careful not to violate any of those. But this report coming out today makes this report from Bounding Into Comics that came out a few days ago much more believable. Rumor: teaser for the Snyder Cut of Justice League coming to HBO Max at launch. Now, I wasn't able to make a video about this yesterday, but now there's no way I can't talk about it. It does come to us from our friends over at Bounding Into Comics. A sneak peek teaser is said to be coming to HBO Max to accompany and promote the rumored release of the Snyder Cut of Justice League on the Warner Media streaming service when it launches May 27th. Joe Bateman, identified as an Air Force veteran who worked in radio, posted Tuesday below. HBO, Warner Brothers, AT&T, DC, and Time Warner are hoping that the hype will put HBO Max in a media frenzy, ensuring that its launch has a successful amount of subscribers and publicity. Then shortly thereafter, they plan on releasing the Snyder Cut. Again, just a rumor, and reported as such by Bounding Into Comics. But when we get that news, when we get this news from Humberto Gonzalez and Sean O'Connell about what happened, and you put into place everything else that has happened along the way to get here, this starts to make a lot more sense. It's added that a teaser will be a short video of behind-the-scenes footage from Zack putting his project together, along with a few teasers. Maybe there'll be stuff in there from his Vero as well. Of course, Zack Snyder does use Vero a lot to drop some of these hints. What's more, a deluxe edition of Crisis on Infinite Earths graphic novel tying into the CW crossover is planned. It will have new material that expands on the subplot surrounding Ezra Miller cameo and explains how the Snyder movie fits or complicates things. And this, again, is from that Facebook group. The only part of this rumor that seems complicated is that DC Comics had planned on releasing a deluxe edition of Crisis on Infinite Earths graphic novel in conjunction with the HBO launch date. This hardcover deluxe edition graphic novel is based on the Arrowverse television saga. Rumor has it there's an additional storyline of Grant Gustin and Ezra Miller's flashes. The continued storyline would basically explain how the Snyderverse is still possible, seeing how it still exists on another Earth/timeline. Crisis also gives WB flexibility if they want to remove certain things from canon, which that could be anyone's guess. And obviously Diamond Publishing, seeing that they're not shipping anything, could be a big problem in regards to that graphic novel. And of course they talk about Justice League Dark Apocalypse, which did contain a couple things, kind of like Zack Snyder's plans for the DC Universe. And of course they talk a little more speculating about Wonder Woman 84 and other things like that, and basically saying keep supporting the movement. However, this rumor, which seemed to have some good traction yesterday, really starts to make a lot of sense when you factor in what we learned about today and that screening that was confirmed and everything that's taken place since that screening happened. Now, like I said, you have YouTubers that one year they might really like and be advocating for the Zack Snyder Cut. You have others that the next year they won't because of how they feel they're testing the waters and what they feel like can get them the most attention, either positively or negatively. But what I think important is consistency. So I've been pretty consistent since I started this channel in the first Zack Snyder video I did, that I want to see Zack Snyder's version of Justice League. I do think that it would be much better than the one we saw. Knowing the story outlines that we do know, I already do like it. That being said, I'll give you my honest opinion. If when we see it and it's not good and I don't like it, I'll be honest about it. As hard as it might be for me to say that, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I'm really confident that we are going to hear something about this sooner rather than later. I don't feel like Zack would keep on letting people press this forward, keep on teasing if it wasn't coming, if he knew that it was not going to happen. If, as some people would like to say, that Warner Brothers and AT&T said, veto, no, we don't want this Snyder cut in any way, shape, or form, why would he continue the press? Doesn't make any sense to me. But let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments below. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, release the Snyder cut, and I will talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my PO box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.